From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid landed early this morning at New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport for his visit to the United Nations General Assembly. Lapid's office said he was received by Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Mike Herzog, Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdogan, Israel's ambassador to Canada, Ronen Hoffman, and Israeli Consulate General in New York, Asaf Zamir. Among those Lapid said he would be meeting with at the General Assembly was the president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. This just weeks after Israel and Turkey agreed to renew diplomatic ties after they were suspended back in 2018. Erdogan addressed the UNGA today with remarks about Israel and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, including his calling for an end to quote-unquote illegal settlements and for a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. Erdogan said we need to finalize the Israeli-Palestinian conflict once and for all through the establishment of a two-state solution. Yesterday, on the sidelines of the UNGA, Erdogan met with a number of leaders of Jewish American organizations. The JTA reports that Erdogan told them that he planned to visit Israel. He also called anti-Semitism a crime against humanity. The meeting was held, the JTA said, under the auspices of the Turkish embassy and the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, whose CEO William Daroff shared photos and tweeted of the event a unique opportunity today for the Conference of Presidents to meet with Turkish President Erdogan for a wide-ranging discussion with American Jewish leaders and Turkish Jewish leaders. Lapid, by the way, was reportedly meeting today with Jordan's King Abdullah II, who also spoke at the UNGA earlier, where he warned against, quote-unquote, undermining the status quo at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City, also claiming that Christianity was under fire in the Old City. The king also called for a two-state solution based on the 1967 borders, with Jerusalem as a shared capital. Well, tonight, Prime Minister Lapid will address the Friends of the IDF New York Gala in New York City. The annual event supports FIDF's educational, financial, well-being, and cultural initiatives for the young men and young women who serve in Israel's defense forces. Talks on a free trade agreement between Israel and Bahrain officially began yesterday, just 2 years after the signing of the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations between the two countries. The Minister of Economy and Industry for Israel, Orna Barbivai, and the Minister of Industry and Trade of Bahrain, Zayed Ben Rashid Al Zayani, met yesterday in Manama, launching the opening of negotiations for the establishment of a free trade agreement. The former ambassador of Bahrain to the U.S., Huda Nonu, tweeted of the initiative, "This will strengthen economic relations between our two countries and increase trade and investment opportunities." Well, just ahead of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, Israel's Bureau of Statistics released its latest data, sharing that Israel's population has reached 9,593,000 people. Of those, 74% are Jewish, 21% Arab, and 5% are other populations. The government agency said the population was expected to reach 10 million by the end of 2024. The population of Israel grew by around 187,000 since last Rosh Hashanah. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, September the 20th at 7 o'clock. Rabbi Ethan Tucker talks about the change in the perceptions of American and Israeli Jews with Gary Rosenblatt. At 8, Lieutenant Colonel Yochai Guiski analyzes Iran's nuclear program and what can be done to contain it with Benjamin Anthony. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with IDF veteran and author Ehud Diskin on L'chaim. At 10, Daniel Olson describes how Jews simultaneously think of themselves as a nation, an ethnicity, and a religion. And coming up next, it's Good Week, Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.